in warmer seas are new realms of pleasure. A weekend, if you wish, at Hotel Atlantis in the Kingdom of the Sea. A holiday of thrills and of adventure, of radiant wonders in the sun-bright gardens of the sea.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose rapture.
In 1933, I believe, H.G. Wells came out with The Shape of Things to Come, a novel that a few years later was developed into a big budget Hollywood film, one of these epic early Hollywood films, Things to Come, 1936. And in The Shape of Things to Come, the novel, and Things to Come, the film, there is also a vision presented of a breakaway civilization. The idea is H.G. Wells foresees that there's going to be another world war. And he envisions a group of scientifically minded people with great technical expertise, technological innovators, in the armies on all sides, in the armies and air forces in particular, on all sides of this war, defecting from their respective nations and absconding to some place. It turns out in the story it's Baghdad, where they organize the foundations of a breakaway civilization, and they literally go underground. They start building these underground cities where they manufacture advanced aeronautical craft, and they wait while human civilization collapses into ruins and society reverts to savagery and barbarism, and the earth is being ruled by a bunch of petty tyrants and feudal warlords. And then they reemerge from underground, and these airmen conquer the entire planet and reorganize society on a planetary scale into a utopia governed on the basis of scientific principles. Mm-hmm. And later H.G. Wells would present this idea in a non-fictional context in his book, The New World Order, which is where that term was coined, a term that later was used by everyone from Adolf Hitler to George H.W. Bush. So the New World Order is the vision of a scientifically governed utopian society. But the first time it was presented was in the context of this novel that envisioned a breakaway civilization hiding away for a certain period of time and allowing society to degenerate so that it could then come back and conquer a ruined planet, rise up from out of the ruins, and reorganize society globally.
If we were all part of a team with exotic technology to study, a near infinite amount of money to play with, and total secrecy, not just for years, not just for decades, but for generations, what could we come up with? Anti-gravity, field propulsion technology, for instance.
And we brought out a dusty old box
And we're
from the
sticking
archive.
by it. We're
Yep.
sticking by it.
We love our box. But essentially, this was sort of the genesis for the movie. They discovered this in the morgue, and it had this piece of masking tape on it that said 1952. But inside that box were all these amazing things that completely fired up our imagination, and it became sort of the inspiration point for this movie that we ended up making.
And we don't know whether, how much of it is real, how much of it were projects, whether it's a joke. But the stuff was, it got our brains firing, and Damon and Sean started talking about what it could be, and then Damon got me involved.
It was our job to say, well, what if everything in this box was real? What would it mean? What if there was something below the 1964 World's Fair underneath the It's a Small World attraction? Or what if there was some sort of secret code being passed between people using old sci-fi magazines?
I love the way they pitched the movie to you too. Is it true they brought you the original Tomorrowland plans from Disney World?
And there was they had white gloves on. They unfolded, it was the blueprint. And then they took a black light over the top of it, and there was an entire other blueprint for a Tomorrowland to be built under Tomorrowland, which they never did do, but it sort of inspired them with the idea.
And you come in this.
In the future, energy will come to us in more efficient forms. Years from now, we will no longer drill and drain the earth to produce the crude fuels to run our automobiles and homes. No, we will use electromagnetic energy, elegant and clean, harvested from the very atoms that surround us. And how, junior tomorrow-naughts, will that energy be transmitted to your mummies and daddies? Wirelessly, using towers such as these, called trilospheres, inspired by the work of that great hero of science, Nikola Tesla.
My dad owns a filling station. Wait, Mr. Nix?
First of all, it's Dr. Nix. Secondly, this is a trilosphere, because he's not a dinosaur. And thirdly, and most importantly, your father is the agent of a parasitic empire that is sucking the lifeblood of this planet dry without a thought of the price that we're all going to have to pay when his filling station eventually transforms our planet into a radioactive prune, and your family dog into a wasteland scavenging mutant with a taste for human flesh. Scene 3, take 1. As I speak, our very best minds are developing a broad array of life extension technologies, gene therapies, robotic organs, even the means to transfer consciousness itself into superior bodies that will make possible a dream that has challenged humanity since the dawn of time. Immortality. Anybody got anything they want to say? You want to say, oh, Mr. Nix, the cheating death, and goes against the laws of nature and religion. Oh, shut up. I'm supposed to grow old and die and fertilize the planet with my greasy carcinogenic biomass. It's the circle of life. Well, you know what I say to you, junior tomorrow-naughts? Good riddance. And it's Dr. Nix.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still.
lunar rovers float magically over powdered plains, range the crater's edge, their elastic train-like bodies conforming to every surface character of the moon. Here are bases of communication and supply, islands of existence built to withstand the melting heat of the lunar day, the shattering cold of the lunar night. And here is Weather Central, forecasting to the world the great climatic changes born in the Antarctic's never-ending winds. Technicians kept warm within their walls of ice gather data from the depths of space, from polar winds, surrounding seas. And in the deepest trenches of the seas, study at first hand long-hidden secrets of survival. Work easily the rich oil deposits of the continental shelves, while trains of submarines transport materials and goods along the waterways of the undersea. And in warmer seas are new realms of pleasure. A weekend, if you wish, at Hotel Atlantis in the Kingdom of the Sea. A holiday of thrills and of adventure, of radiant wonders in the sun-bright gardens of the sea. Fabulous coral reefs lead us back to the land, an equatorial land. Now, technology has found a way to control the wild profusion of this wonder world. A jungle road is built in one continuous operation. Then a giant machine, a factory on wheels, grinds up the stumps and jungle growth, sets the firm foundation, forms the surface slabs, sets them in place, and the roadway bed is paved. A new system of highways spans the continents to transport men and goods swiftly and separately across the land. And for our deserts, a new technology, waters from the sea made fresh as rain to nourish crops planted in the sand, produce from seed to shipment programmed and processed by a new agriculture, a science of plenty for an ever-growing world. There is new beauty and new strength in the city of tomorrow. Technology can point the way to a future of limitless promise, but man must chart his own course into tomorrow, a course that frees the mind and the spirit as it improves the well-being of mankind.
And the more you look at it, the less sense it makes. There are too many imbalances, especially when you put it in the perspective of history.
So what is your explanation?
Essentially, what we're suggesting is that at the very highest level of East-West diplomacy, there is operating a factor of which we know nothing. Now, it could just be, that this unknown factor is a massive but covered operation in space. As for the reason behind it, well, we're not in the business of speculation.
Could we transport the materials there?
It'd take one hell of a shuttle, but yeah. We have the machines now. In theory, we could do it, especially if we had some sort of international cooperation.
International cooperation in space. A space shuttle, but shuttling what to where?
1. He's away, NASA 1, falling clear.
Profile, Ernie. Passing the 30-mile limit. Maximum power. He's reaching maximum speed.
When we returned to Cambridge and presented Dr. Carl Gerstein with the information we'd so far acquired, he finally agreed to speak, on record, about Alternative 3.
We had agreed at the Huntsville conference that there was nothing we could do to cut either world population or the consumption of resources essential for survival on Earth. Alternative 3 was a much more limited option. It was an attempt to ensure that at least some of the human race survived the consequences. We were theorists, not technicians, but we realized we were talking about a kind of space travel which had only appeared in scientific fiction so far.
What, you mean go to some other planet?
I mean, get the hell off this one whilst there's still time.
Wow, there's Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, Paul McCartney, Michael Jordan, Michelle Kwan.
They must be starting a new civilization on Mars with our best and brightest.
That's us!
Name, please.
Certainly. I am the piano genius from the movie Shine.
Uh-huh. And your name is?
Shiny McShine?
And so, working in secret, free of the corruptions of money, politics, and power, the world's greatest minds have collaborated on another path for humanity. A tomorrow we need not fear, but one we can aspire to. And that, fellow traveler, is why you have been invited here. At long last, we are building that tomorrow. You are about to enter a world of miracles and wonders, a shining beacon of hope for humankind. And in just 20 short years, we will share this extraordinary place with the entire world. So, would you like to see it?
The only thing we can be sure of about the future is that it will be absolutely fantastic.
Who's there?
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Did you think you'd get away with it?
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
Did you think I wouldn't know?
Who's there?
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.